us for Monday edition of our Sports Today on ABS TV, and it happens live here in our studio in Oka. My name is Ike Nwoked. It's the first one in a brand new week. Monday kicks off, and what we'll do here is to go on a 360 navigation around the world of sports in style and tell you what went down the weekend and what we anticipate this week. We'll talk about the Anambra State Sports Development Commission. There's a program, a maiden program they are preparing for. It's all about school sports. We'll talk about that. Patrick Estate Onyedun with his innovation. We'll talk about that on the sports show. Also on Sports Today on ABS TV. We'll tell you about this certain league that kick-started on Saturday. It is called Brain Boxer Football League. It is being put up by Brain Boxer Sports Foundation. We'll tell you about that. Brain Boxer Sports Foundation in conjunction with the Anambra State Sports Development Commission and the National Youth Council of Nigeria. We'll talk about that on the sports show. Also, we'll tell you that Rangers International went to Gombe. Did they conquer? Yes, maybe you have to say they conquered. They got a valuable point against Doma United. And we'll talk about IMC. The top official is urging the IMC to ensure that the matches towards the ending of the season, there is no issue about matches, things going the other way around. We'll talk about that on the show. We'll talk about Formula One. Max Verstappen is in the news, regaining prominence. We'll also tell you about athletics, tennis, and then results of league matches across Western Europe. Matches we have played in France, Germany, Spain. Spain was the Copa del Rey final in Italy, and then in England as the league now draws to the close. But let's start with our first story. Our first story is about the Brain Boxer League. The Brain Box League kick-started on Saturday at the Oka City Stadium. Well, let's tell you that Oyi local government area football team on Saturday, the 6th of May, 2023, defeated their counterparts from Dunukofia by a lone goal in the maiden edition of the 2023 Brain Boxer Football League organized by the National Youth Council of Nigeria, NYCN, in partnership with the Anambra State Football Association, ANSFA, for the 21 local government areas in the state. The encounter played at the Oka City Stadium saw Paul Nnamdi solitary strike in the 48th minute for the Oyi side see offer their opponents in a competition bankrolled by Brain Boxer Sports Foundation and Managing Director, Chief Executive, Mr. Samuel Ezugo. According to the sponsor, the winner of the competition will smile home with a sum of 3 million naira, while the first and second runners-up will each smile home with a sum of 2 million naira and 1 million naira respectively. Individual awards for the best goalkeeper, best player of the tournament, and highest goal scorer will each be rewarded with a sum of 100,000 naira. In his remarks, the state chairman of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Anambra State Ambassador Surveyor Obi Emeka Chukwudi, stated that as football is a unifying factor, the council is using the beautiful game to unite the entire youth in the state and engage them meaningfully. Comrade Chukwudi highlighted the support of the present administration under His Excellency Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo through the One Youth Two Skills program to empower the youth. He also acknowledged the support of the Honorable Commissioner for Youth Empowerment, Honorable Patrick Aha Mba, while urging the youth to make the best out of the ongoing tournament. Also speaking, the manager of Brain Boxer Sports Foundation, Comrade Ifeanyi Chukwunwoye, who spoke on behalf of the sponsor, stated that the love for the game by the benefactor and the will to provide a platform for the youth in the state to showcase their God-given talent is the motivation behind the competition. Nwoye posited that the competition has come to stay and will be an annual event in the sports program of the National Youth Council of Nigeria. He further disclosed that the Brain Boxer Foundation intends to host the entire state and ensure the competition will be an annual event. On his part, the chairman of Anambra State Football Association, ANSFA, Chief Chikelu Ilenyose, fondly called the general, commended the Brain Boxer Sports Foundation for their magnanimity in accepting to bankroll the football program, which is a brainchild of the NYCN. He emphasized that the ANSFA is here to support such initiative and provide immense technical support in ensuring that the competition is hitch-free from the start to the termination of the event. Reacting also, the Senior Special Assistant to Anambra State Government on Security, Honorable Chiejina Anthony Obieze, described that the football program as laudable as it is essential in uniting the youth of the state. Honorable Obieze applauded the CEO of Brainbox Sports Foundation for keying into the Akuluono philosophy by bankrolling the competition, which he described as a right step in the right direction. As part of our activities to spice up the competition opener, there was a roadshow by members of the NYCN from the 21 local government areas in the state, from Alex Ekwueme Square at Aroma to the Awka City Stadium. Paramilitary display was also part of the event. There was also quarter guard performance and a match pass. Also present during the event were the Commissioner for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Community Affairs, Honorable Tony Collins Anwabunwanne, Commissioner for Youth Development, Honorable Patrick Aramba, MD and CEO of the Anambra State Investment Promotion and Protection Agency, ANSIPA, talking about Mr. Mark Okoye, and other government appointees. We are there on the opening ceremony of that competition, the Brain Boxer League, and what a league and commencing. And the winner of this competition, like I told you, is expected to smile home with the grand prize of 3 million naira, second prize 2 million naira, third prize is 100,000 naira. And I told you that there are individual awards for the highest goal scorer, the best goalkeeper, and the most valuable player. I think 100,000 naira each for that one. And this is made possible by the MD and CEO of the Brain Boxer Sports Foundation, in the person of Mr. Samuel Ezugo. That's the way to go, and that's the way to keep our youth busy, and that's the way to promote the round leather game and promote sports in the state. So in due course, I will continue to bring you up to the speed as regards how the competition is faring, and equally serve you the fixtures of other matches subsequently. But know that Oyi defeated Dunukofia by 1-0, and Paul Nandi got the goal earlier on in the game to ensure his team has starting on a flying note. So 22 teams are featuring in the maiden edition of the Brain Box League. I will keep you posted as regards that development. Well, let's leave the Brain Box League and talk about the Anambra State Sports Development Commission under the hardworking Honorable Patrick Estate Onyedum. Yes, Patrick Estate Onyedum, the game changer, is doing it in style. And now, as the chairman of the Anambra State Sports Development Commission, he's bringing something new. School sports is set to make a bolder return in Anambra State as the first Anambra Sports Solution Initiative. The ASSI School Sports Festival hosts from the 21st to the 24th, and the sports festival will first hold at the community level through local government and senatorial levels before the state grand finale slated for the 21st through the 24th, the finals. And according to the Anambra State Sports Development Commission, the ANSSI Sports Fiesta will get underway at community level on May 17. Chairman of the Anambra State Sports Development Commission, Patrick Estate Onyedum, the sports say that the sports festival will hold for under 13 and under 17, and briefing sports journalists in Awka on Tuesday in an interactive session with members of the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, Anambra State chapter. Onyedum revealed that no fewer than 15,000 student athletes will take part in the first edition of the School Sports Festival, which marks the return of school sports in the state after about 10 years. And the Sports Commission board was represented on the media pally by the technical consultant to the commission, Oluyomi Sule. He said that the competition, which is open to all public and private primary and secondary schools across the 21 local government areas of the state, will be played with a free registration. He said the registration for the participating teams are commenced on April 28 and will run through May 12 at no cost, adding that registration forms could be obtained at the Sports Commission office here in Awka, LGA Education Department offices, and Private School Proprietors Association representatives. Onyedum said the event will commence on May 17 with a community schools competition through LGA and senatorial district qualifiers, and with state finals between June 21 and June 24. The festival will feature 10 sporting events, namely athletics, basketball, chess, football, Scrabble, swimming, table tennis, taekwondo, and volleyball. While cricket, he pointed out, will feature as a demonstration sport. Onyedum said that winners from the festival will be selected for Team Anambra contingent for the National Youth Games and also be part of the homegrown athletes to the next National Sports Festival in Ogun State. Tony Oji, the chairman of ASWAN in Anambra, commended the commission for its commitment to reinvent sport in Anambra. He noted that grassroots awards are the bedrock of sustainable sports development, recalling that the last school sports festival in Anambra was in 2021. Also, Patrick Estate Onyedum also commended Governor Soludo for his support towards the commission and empowering the youth through the instrumentality of sports and also ensuring that they are endowed with the skills in terms of the One Youth Two Skills program. He also thanked the governor for giving him the platform to serve the Anambra State Sports Development Commission and also to use the opportunity to revive sports and take it to the next level in Anambra State. So that's the story about the Anambra State Sports Development Commission, about the school sports festival coming up. 10 sports will feature in this one, according to what Patrick Estate Onyedum has told us, and the registration is at no cost. And what we'll do here on Sports Today is to tell you more about that. In the days ahead, you will get to hear more about the Anambra State School Sports Festival. It is a program of the Anambra State Sports Development Commission under the hardworking leadership of Honorable Patrick Estate Onyedum. And he also commended the governor, His Excellency Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, for the support he's giving him, the commission, and also the state in general. So that's what it is about the Anambra State School Sports, and I promised you that I will keep you updated with a development on that front. Away from that, let's talk about the Interim Management Committee and the organization of the league, the biggest league in the country, which is the MPFL. An Abuja-based football administrator has called on the Nigeria Premier Football League organizers, the Interim Management Committee, to be at alert to ensure that all its efforts of putting together a memorable campaign is not rubbished by the last-minute illegal maneuvering by desperate clubs. The administrator, who spoke on the basis of anonymity, called on the league body to be on high alert in the remaining matches of the season, as reports are going around that some clubs are willing to trade away their matches, thereby bringing the league to great disrepute. He cited what happened sometimes in the past when a certain club administrator openly boasted that he was going to help a brother administrator club to escape the drop to the lower division, which later earned the administrator sanction from the Football Authority in Abuja. The IMC has to be at alert to stop any form of match fixing as the abridged league season draws to a close. They must put their monitoring team on the alert to nip in the bud any attempts to rig matches by some club administrators. It is no longer news that a former club administrator was sanctioned by the NFF last season for his role in an alleged match fixing case, but it will be a plus for the IMC to stop any attempt to bring the league to disrepute. They have to be proactive to earn the high marks at the end of the season, the highly informed source stated. The source said, thankfully, a club had announced some measures it has taken to stop rigging of matches by its players, and I call on others to beam an internal searchlight while the IMC must, as a matter of urgency, take a closer look at activities of some clubs, administrators, and referees who want to do the unthinkable things to get undeserved results, which in the long run reduces the country's club football rating. Pressed further for specifics, our source stated, based on intelligence reports at our disposal, there is a very high likelihood that a certain club on top of one of the groups will pay back the favor he received from one of the clubs currently battling to retain its premiership status in one of the remaining fixtures of the season. Administrator boasted to trade a state team game in his next home game. Well, that's the report we got this morning as regards that, and the IMC is being called upon to ensure that they do needful and ensure that we have a good game and we have a good MPFL. So that's what we want to see. We want our league to end on a high note and we want our league to be amongst the best in Africa and moving forward to the globe. Now let's talk about our Nigeria Professional Football League Match Day 17 program. The MPFL is just one match to the end of the season, and there were actions this past weekend. And let's tell you that Rangers International went away. Did they conquer? Yes. I make bold to say that Rangers conquered, that the brilliance of Doma United FC young shortstopper Kingdom Osai between the sticks for the Desert Tigers was the reason the Flying Antelopes Rangers International FC failed to annex the maximum points in the match day 17 of the Nigeria Professional Football League Group B encounter played at the Gombe Stadium, Pantami. It was on Sunday. Coach Abdul Maikaba stuck at 2. The team that defeated Wiki Tourists in the match day 16 fixture, except for Godwin Obaje, who was rested for Leonard Ugochukwu, and the squad that started the encounter on a high with Austin Onyemechi's effort on 3 minutes failing to rest inside the net after Innocent Gabriel has sent an inch perfect across. Leonard Ugochukwu, Nwobodo Chidebere, and Onyemechi continued their dominance up front with the trial of Naziru Awalu, Eso Achibong, and Chinemerem Ugweze buzzing the middle of the park going into the half-hour mark, but their dominance failed to result in a goal. The home side quietly came into the game late and would have been in front on 35th minute, but for the timely clearance by Ebuka Anthony, while goalkeeper Detan Ogundare produced a spectacular save late into the half as both teams failed to find the back of the net going into the break. Leonard Ugochukwu saw his connecting header off Eso Achibong's well-taken corner kick come off the crossbar at the 63rd minute of the game, just as the introduction of the draw of Ejike Uzeni and Godwin Obaje on the 71st minute pushed back at the host on the 78th minute, and Shedrack Asiobo could not believe how his well-struck shot failed to rest inside the net after Uzeni had dominated his marker off, and Obaje cut back as Osai made himself very big. At 90 minutes, Osai was alert to beat out the Uche John effort after he was released by Uzeni defense splitting pass, and coach Abdul Maikaba said after the encounter, it was a good game that we would have won, but all the same we'll make do with the point that we got from the match. My players seemed to be anxious to score, which made them miss the opportunities that we created. We continue to work on our weakness going into the Federation Cup, said Abdul Maikaba, the coach of Rangers International. And now let's reel out the other results you're seeing on your screen right now. Other results in the MPFL. Akwa United defeated El Kanemi Warriors. It will be back on the screen shortly. Akwa United defeated El Kanemi Warriors by 2-0. Bendel Insurance won. Shooting Stars won. Doma United nil. Rangers International nil. We told you about that. And Akwara United defeated Nasarawa United by 1-0. Niger Tornadoes nil. Sunshine Stars 2. Plateau United 1. Remo Stars 2. Rivers United defeated Bayelsa United by 2-1, and Wiki Tourists obliterated Abia Warriors by 4-0, while Enyimba International destroyed Gombe United by 5-0. So that's how it went down in Group A and Group B of the Nigeria Professional Football League, the MPFL, at the weekend. But Rangers International saw, and I believe conquered. Now we'll get set to the last match day in the MPFL, and the last match day is this coming Sunday, and Rangers International will be hosting the team on the top of the log, Rivers United. It will be played at the Oka City Stadium. The time will be 4 p.m. this coming Sunday. So it's an opportunity to see the best of Nigerian football as we wrap up at the 2022-2023 season. Rivers United, Rangers International hosting Rivers United at the Oka City Stadium. It is happening this Sunday. Kudos to Rangers International for going away from home and getting a vital point against Doma United. Let's move away from that. Let's go to our national team. We'll go to the under-17 national team and tell you how the team is faring. And Nigeria staged a remarkable fight back to edge out South Africa 3-2 in Constantine. And that was on Saturday night to progress in the quarterfinals of the under-17 African Cup of Nations in Algeria. Abubakar Abdullahi scored the winner for the Golden Eaglets as they twice came from behind to clinch a maximum points and finished second in Group B behind group winners Morocco and South Africa. It may interest you to know our third on 3 points and will anxiously be waiting for results from Group C to see whether they can squeeze into the last 8 as one of the two best third-place teams. The Amajimbos had a brilliant start and they got into the lead after 6 minutes when Vicky Hawana shot a low into the net after Waylon Renekes headed from Gabriel Amato's corner came off at the post, but Nigeria constantly camped in South Africa's half, forcing them to defend deep as they sought an equalizer. Abdullahi placed at the ball marginally wide, one-on-one with the keeper, while Charles Agada had a goal disallowed for offside, and the pressure finally bore fruit in the 33rd minute when Agada equalized with a header after a corner was brushed to his part on mark at the back post. In the second minute of added time, South Africa retook the lead with some brilliant piece of individual brilliance from Sia Bongo Mabena, and the Mamelodi Sundowns man picked at the ball on the left before taking on two markers and unleashing a belter of a shot that came off at the underside of the bar and beyond the line. Nonetheless, the Nigerians drew level once again just seconds into the second half when Light Eke tapped home inside the box after a cross from Agada off a good run on the right. Found him well placed. But now the good news is that the under-17 team have qualified for the quarterfinals and will be watching out to see if they can get into the semifinals. If they get into the semifinals, that's automatic qualification for the World Cup coming up later. So we wish them all the very best in their game, and we hope their team gets into the semifinals and eventually get to the finals and see if they can win that game. That's about the under-17 team. And away from football for the moment, let's talk about table tennis. Table tennis makes a return on the show, and just like he did in 2022, Omar Assar of Egypt defeated Nigeria's Quadri Haruna to retain the men's singles title at the 2023 ITTF African Cup in Nairobi, Kenya. Also, 15-year-old Egyptian Hannah Goda set a new record as the first youngest African Cup champion to retain her title after defeating a former champion and compatriot Dina Meshrefa 4-3 in an entertaining final. He did in 2002. Omar Assar of Egypt defeated Nigeria's Quadri Haruna to retain the men's singles title at the 2023 ITTF African Cup of Nations African Cup in Nairobi, Kenya. Also, 15-year-old Egyptian Hannah Goda set a new record as the first youngest African Cup champion to retain her title after defeating a former champion and compatriot Dina Meshrefa 4-3 in an entertaining final we hear. And that's the story of Omar Assar and Haruna Quadri. In that one, Omar Assar got the better half of our own Quadri Haruna. But I tell you, there will be better days ahead for that man, Haruna Quadri. Moving away from that, let's talk about Victor Osimhen. It's all about Victor Osimhen. And out there are the San Napels, they say Victor Osimhen. That's the story there. Nigerian star Victor Osimhen says he will never forget winning Napoli's first Serie A title, the first Scudetto in 33 years. The 24-year-old forward's 22nd league goal of the season, and the Little Donkeys, a 1-1 draw with Udinese Calcio at the Dacia Arena on Thursday, and therefore Napoli won the first league crown since 1990. And Osimhen, who has arguably been the best player in Italy this season, expressed his delight at winning the trophy. It is an amazing feeling. We have waited so many years for this, Osimhen stated. To be able to deliver the Scudetto to the Neapolitans is something that we will never forget in a hurry and will continue to live in our hearts for the rest of our lives. I'm happy for all the Neapolitans. Now we are going to celebrate in front of our own fans and enjoy the moment for life. I'm overwhelmed right now, he continued. I don't know the words to use to really quantify this feeling. Nobody has deserved this Scudetto more than the Neapolitans. We were underdogs at the start of the season. Not so many people believe that in us. This team has stuck together. We believe from the start of the season that we had a greater squad, that we could deliver the Scudetto. Now we have realized that this dream. Congratulations to everyone who was part of this story. That's the story of that man talking about Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen. But the news right now is, at the end of the season, is he going to remain there at the San Napels? We will get to know that in the weeks ahead. But Victor Osimhen, no doubt about the best player in Italy this season, the 2022 2023 season. Let's move away from that football again. Let's go to Formula One. In Formula One, Red Bull's Max Verstappen was in a class of his own as he carved through the field to win the Miami Grand Prix from a ninth place on the grid. It was a masterful performance from the world champion, using an offset tire strategy to beat a teammate Sergio Perez, who started from pole position, and Verstappen ran a long first stint of hard tires, pitting 25 laps later than Perez, rejoining a second behind and passing for the lead a lap later. It was a humiliating defeat for Perez and raised serious questions about his claims to be able to challenge Verstappen for the title this season. And Fernando Alonso continued his superb season for Aston Martin to take his fourth podium finish in 5 races with an outstanding performance of his own. And George Russell was a stronger 4th missed this while Ferrari had a dispirited afternoon, and Carlos Sainz challenged Alonso in the first stint but earned a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane at his pit stop, and then dropped away in the second stint to finish 5th. And teammate Charles Leclerc had a race to forget after crashing in qualifying and starting at 7th. And he fought a long battle with Haas driver Kevin Magnussen, who drove an outstanding race before finally getting past with 20 laps to go and taking 7th place behind Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes, which was on the same offset strategy as Verstappen, and passed Leclerc in the closing stages. And quickly to athletics. In athletics, Dina Asher-Smith finished 3rd as Sha'Carri Richardson set a new 100 meters meeting record at the opening Diamond League of the season, and that was in Doha. An American, Richardson, 23 years of age, clocked at 10.76 seconds, beating the previous meeting record of 10.80 set by her competitor Tori Bowie, whose death at the age of 32 was announced on Wednesday. And Britain's Asher-Smith ran at 10.98 seconds with Jamaica's Shericka Jackson second. American Kelia, the Olympic silver medalist over 100 meters, trailed at the field, exceeded at the bend but accelerated in the closing stages to close at the line in 19.92 seconds with competitor Kenny Bedranek placing second, and Canada's Aaron Brown third. And 2-time Olympic champion Faith Kipyegon of Kenya won the women's 1,500 meters. That was in a time of 3 minutes, 58.57 seconds. And earlier, Britain's Lawrence Okoye and Nika Pesci finished 5th and 9th, respectively, in the men's discus. Olympic bronze medalist Holly Bradshaw was forced to withdraw from the women's pole vault after Achilles and calf stiffness during the warm-up. It would have marked the Britain's first competition since suffering a hamstring injury last summer. And quickly now to some tennis news. Andy Murray won his first title in nearly 4 years by beating Tommy Paul in the final of the ATP Challenger event in the Provence. And Britain Murray, 35 years of age, came back from a set down against American top seed Paul to win 2-6, 6-1, 6-2. It is the 3rd time Grand Slam champions' first title since winning in Antwerp in 2019 and the first on clay since 2016 in Rome. And now to some football news now before we wrap up at the show. Rodrigo scored twice as Real Madrid won the Copa del Rey for the first time since 2014. After beating Osasuna in the final in Sevilla. That's 9 years it took them to do that. And the Brazilian was on hand to fire the winner from close range after Toni Kroos's shot deflected into his path. And Osasuna, playing in their only second Copa del Rey final, had threatened an upset when Luca Toro leveled. But Madrid went on to win the game, and we'll say congratulations to them. And time for us now to check out the results of matches that played at the weekend. Let's begin with France. In France, Troyes won, PSG 3. We have it that Lyon defeated Montpellier in a 9-goal thriller, 5-4. Elsewhere, Ajaccio 0, Toulouse 0. Auxerre won, Clermont-Foot 1. Lorient defeated Brest by 2-1. It was Nantes 0, Strasbourg 2. Angers 1, Monaco 2. Lens 2, Marseille Marseille won, Reims won, Leo Lux Metropole nil, and Nice defeated Rennes by 2-1. Quickly to Germany, Borussia Dortmund at the Signal Iduna Park obliterated Wolfsburg by 6-0. Werder Bremen won, Bayern Munich 2, Augsburg 1, Union Berlin nil, Borussia Mönchengladbach defeated Bochum 2-0, Freiburg nil, Leipzig won, and Hertha Berlin defeated Stuttgart by 2-1. Hoffenheim also got the better of Eintracht Frankfurt 3-1. It ended. Bayer Leverkusen won, FC Cologne 2, Mainz 2, Schalke 0-3. In Italy, Lecce nil, Verona won, Napoli won, Fiorentina nil, Torino won, Monza won, and Atalanta lost 0-2 to Juve. Roma nil, Internazionale 2, and AC Milan 2, Lazio nil. And lastly, in England, West Ham United defeated Manchester United by 1-0. Was Newcastle nil, Arsenal 2, and Arsenal keep the chase now after a great win against Newcastle. What a match it was. Liverpool won, Brentford nil, Bournemouth won, Chelsea 3, and Chelsea back to winning ways again. Man City 2, Leeds United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1, Crystal Palace nil, and Wolverhampton Wanderers defeated Aston Villa by 1-0. Those are the results of matches played at the weekend. And that's the size of the show this morning, Sports Today on ABS TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. The program will be back tomorrow again, same time. My name is Ike Nwokedi. From the entire team, I say have a lovely week. But remember, sport is life. It never stops, and so do we. Bye-bye now.